Good Shabbos, everyone. It's wonderful to see so many of you here, and Mazel Tov again to Abby. 2 weeks ago, of course, we all know about what happened in Colleyville, Texas, when a madman came into a synagogue and held the rabbi and 3 Jews that were there that morning hostage for 11 hours, trying to free a terrorist. And thank God at the end, through the bravery of the rabbi and the other members there who really are heroes, they were able to escape with their lives. And thank God no innocent people were murdered. And for a few days, there was a spirit of celebration and unity within the Jewish community. It was so nice to see that even though this happened at a Reformed temple, conservative and Orthodox and ultra-Orthodox rabbis throughout the Jewish world were putting out positive statements, statements of celebration, statements of gratitude. Orthodox rabbinic bodies that normally don't say anything when things happen in the Reform or conservative world, if anything, they say negative things. They were saying positive statements about this Reform rabbi and what happened in this Reform temple. But unfortunately, within a few days, that spirit of Kol Yisrael Arvim Zeh B'Zeh, all of Israel is unified and responsible one for the other, was somewhat lost. First, we saw a Jewish newspaper called the Jewish Press put out a statement of one disgruntled congregant who claimed that Rabbi Charlie Citron Walker, the rabbi in Colleyville, had called Israel an apartheid state. And he claimed that Rabbi Charlie was an anti-Zionist, was against the state of Israel. And he's not such a hero. And unfortunately, this was picked up by several Jewish newspapers and Jewish websites. I even received several emails telling me, see, Rabbi, this rabbi is not so great. He's an anti-Zionist. Now, the truth is, he never called Israel an apartheid state. He's a pro-Israel rabbi, as most rabbis are, and he fully supports the Jewish state. But these myths went throughout the Jewish world. It was as if this hero was being knocked down by some on the extreme right. But then, a left-leaning Jewish newspaper, The Forward, had its own damage that they felt they had to do against the rabbi. They put out the story that, yes, this rabbi may be great, but that congregation had decided not to renew his contract, and that this rabbi may not be such a hero. He's leaving that congregation in a few months. Now, that story turned out to be true, and he is leaving in a few months, but not because the congregation doesn't love him, because all members of congregations always love the rabbi. It was because he had been there for 15 years, and it was time to move on and try to seek a larger pulpit. And so, while that story was true, many people responded, what was the point of putting that story in The Forward? Let's celebrate the fact of what this rabbi did. Let's celebrate the fact that Jews were saved. Let's celebrate the fact that it could have been so much worse. But yet, there were people on the right and the left, Jews all over, who were knocking down what happened by taking unfair attacks against this rabbi. It's as if we in the Jewish world were doing the work of anti-Semites for them. It's like the anti-Semites would be thrilled to see Jews fighting against each other. Sometimes, unfortunately, we can be our worst enemy. The rabbis remind us again and again throughout Jewish history the importance of Jewish unity. In this last week's Torah portion, when we as the Israelites encamp at Mount Sinai, it says in the Hebrew, Vayichan Sham, that the Hebrews, the Israelites, encamped together. And the verb that's used, Vayichan, is in the singular. For the first time, the entire people of Israel encamped together. It's a singular verb. It's the first time it's used. Every other time, the verb is in the plural. This time, it's a verb used in the singular tense, meaning that they were all unified together, and because they were encamped as one people, they were worthy of receiving the commandments, the Torah, on Mount Sinai. And from that time, 3,000 years ago, the rabbis remind us that when we as Jews come together, whether Reform or Orthodox, secular or conservative, no matter where we stand politically, when we come together and see the common bonds that we as Jews share, we can do anything, even receive the commandments at Sinai. The lesson for us is very clear. Unity doesn't mean that we won't have disagreements. Plurality is a good thing. What a beautiful thing it is in America that we can go to Beth Israel or Chabad, Beth Yeshurun, or Brit Shalom. We need diversity. But what diversity doesn't mean is that we should fight against each other, attack each other because we have our differences. We can have our disagreements, but let's disagree respectfully. Let's have dialogue, not arguments. And let's never knock each other in the public sphere. Let's work together, especially today when there are those who will attack us because we are Jews. Centuries ago, the famous American Ben Franklin said, "We will either hang separately or we will hang together." I choose hang together, not hang separately. Let's hang together. Let's find the similarities. Let's find what we share with our friends, no matter where they daven or they don't daven, no matter where they pray or they don't pray. Let's find what we have together. Let's keep that sense of Jewish unity. And let's be thankful again that these Jews were saved. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, matir asirim. Blessed are you, Lord our God, who frees the captive. Let us continue to celebrate the fact that Jews, no matter the differences they may have with you and me, they were saved. And may that always be the case. Shabbat shalom, everyone.